And Don Moschetti is going to be late. And I think we can just get going. I'm Joe Bradley, and this is the first time being your chair. And if I'm a little klutzy, please be patient with me. All right. First thing we're going to do is roll call. And Rosanna, do you want to do the roll call, please?
Yes. Member Barish.
Here.
Member Williford.
Present.
Member Idiot. Member,
Evian?
sorry,
That's all right.
Evian.
I'm here.
Member Ramos. Member Bob. Member Miller.
Here.
Member Pierce.
Here.
Member Almond.
Here.
Member Moschetti.
Here.
Good. Good timing there.
Chair Bradley.
Here. Okay. Public expression on non-agenda items. Is there anybody here that would like to speak to the committee? In the audience, we've got two people out there. Are we good?
Both have a purpose.
And if I could just take a moment to introduce myself. Many
Yes,
of the
please.
people here know me, or think they know me, or remember me sort of. I'm Kit Elliott. I am the current interim county council. I was here, as Tom and I were reflecting, from the very beginning. I was very instrumental in writing and working on getting the Measure B put together. And so, again, my office assists whenever is necessary. I understand that you've been going without a county council, and if I'm not needed here, but my office will be available, and we will come whenever we need to be here to assist.
Great. We're meeting quarterly. I think county council was here at our last meeting too, before she flew into the next chapter.
Yeah, Charlotte was attending.
Charlotte was attending the meeting, so.
Okay, so we will attend as needed. I'll have to look back at the measure. Somehow I remember that we were supposed to be part of this, so I want to make sure. So,
Yeah, and it's public money as opposed to county money, so you know that well.
yeah.
So I think that's why I put you on.
The only, Madam Chair, if you don't mind, my only input on this is, I don't want, in the past, Measure B has been charged by the county for having an attorney here. And I don't want us to be charged for an attorney when we are not making major decisions. I mean, we've made a lot of major decisions. And everything, the train is on the track we're going. If we're gonna have county council here, I want to clear up whether or not we're paying for it. Because we are, with all due respect to it, I'm sure there's other things you should be doing. If we need to, we call you, but if we are paying for it, I'll fight against it.
So Dr. Miller, are we being charged for county council?
Yes, if county council shows they do charge Measure B.
How much they charge us, I don't know, or maybe you're not supposed to know.
If I can clarify, in my situation, right now contracting with the county, so I don't bill my hours anywhere. I'll have to discuss whether I need to do that for this or not, but it's not built into my contract per se. I do, hourly, I'm on a flat fee. So my knowledge at this point, but I'll review that with Janine in terms of, and looking at Measure B too, in terms of, what's mandated. There's a lot of things that were built in, so.
We've been, yeah, and that, I second that one, Tom, but we've been also trying to be real conscientious about paper and money spent. VPAC is now meeting in Dora Street at the conference room there, except when we meet with Measure B, just so we don't have to pay for rent on something. So, thank you. Okay, is
Can I
there
just say one thing about county council over the years? Let's say about 4, 6, 7, 8. We've spent about 8 to 9,000, we've been billed about $8 to $9,000 for county council services.
Yeah, we pay county council services and we pay an hourly rate when they're here. That's what we generally have done. Just on a side note, lately your mic's on, otherwise the recording won't pick it up, and because everyone doesn't have a mic, everyone's sharing.
Okay,
You have to, if you turn them on to green, then it picks up the whole room.
okay, good. Wonderful.
So,
Well,
So-
the light doesn't work, but I think the mic works.
Oh,
It did.
Yeah, just the lights out, the mic was working.
well, that's good. All righty. Anything else that we need to discuss? What I was wondering, should we introduce all, I mean, do you guys all know everybody that we don't need to introduce ourselves to each other? We're good? Okay. Well, thank you, Kit, for bringing that up. All righty. Approval of minutes from November 19th. Did anybody have any changes or additions or subtractions to the minutes from our last meeting in November?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as submitted.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Want to do, please, a roll call?
I'm sorry, may I ask for clarification, who seconded? Thanks.
Oh,
Thank you.
Dr.
Sorry.
Parrish did.
Member Barish?
Yes.
Member Williford?
yes.
Member Evian?
Yes,
Member Miller?
Yes.
Member Pierce?
Yes.
Member Almond?
Yes?
Member Musketti?
Yes.
Chair Bradley?
Yes. Passes unanimously. The next thing we have is the financial report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not much has gone on with the financial reports, it's just the normal daily for, billing. For the grant, we received the second to the last payment of $114,000. So to date for the grant, we've gotten $8.4 million. The last payment of $937,000 won't be submitted in or received until the PUF is completed. So once they do all the completions and all that, then we'll receive that. And so we will get an update today. So it most likely won't occur until next fiscal year is for that last payment of the grant.
So when the PUF is finished, does that mean it's open or just construction is complete?
I believe it's when they do the certificates. I don't think it's when it's opened for the grant. I'm not, it's just there's the certificate, the completion of the certificate is when we can.
I'm sorry, I didn't find it quick enough. Thank you.
I'm not too familiar with the grant part because they, that got handed off at the polls. And then,
can I ask just a quick
Yes.
question about that part, the grant?
yes,
So the total that, with that 937, will have received 9.3 million?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
just wanted to,
Yeah, that's the last amount that, the last drawdown.
great. Wow.
Yeah.
And does Measure B get 100% of what was paid back by the state of the grant?
Yes, whatever is charged to Measure B, or whatever is charged for the big, then yes, they get the 9.3 million.
I just want to make sure I understand the questions, answer. So when the grant comes back in, let's say we get a check for $100,000 back from the state, does Measure B get $100,000?
Yeah, anything that's billed to Measure B, so but there's some, yes, so,
Okay,
yes, there's some charges that, for the grant that administratively that we do, that gets charged a little bit of that
Okay, okay.
staff time, but that's for that specific
Thank you.
grant, and then Measure B gets
Thank you.
And then the last I have is we have received the quarter one billing for the crew team, for the Fort Bragg crew team. So we're reviewing that just to make sure, but I was excited to see that they started billing for that.
For the what?
The Fort Bragg crew response team that you guys contracted, wanted to contract with. So we're in the process of reviewing that invoice, but I was excited to see that we got one, so.
Sounds like road.
Yeah, I know. Crisis response unit? Is that what it's
Yes.
called? Crisis response unit.
Community response.
Community response, thank you. I was in a crisis. Yeah, it's not on here yet because we just got it, but I was excited that we got something because I don't like to see, if we're contracting, I'd like to see the contract, so. And I think that was it. There's nothing too exciting that has come in. Anybody has questions on that?
Are there any questions that need to be answered? Okay. It's just going smooth. That's, well, it's your first meeting. We lured you into a false sense of security. No, you missed me saying I may be a butt, so it's all right. All righty. We have updates and discussions regarding the Board of Supervisors meetings.
So no updates, there have been no Measure B items that have gone to the Board of Supervisors. This is just a regular agenda item that we had originally asked to have on every month, even if we had no items, but we have none. They have comments.
Bless you.
Excuse me, Chair Barnes. May I get a motion for accepting the financial report?
Oh, we need that, you're right. Thank you for the reminder.
And there's public comment.
Okay, so we need a motion and a second to accept the financial report. Do I hear a motion? Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, you have those. All right, you want to do roll call, please?
Member Barish?
Yes.
Member Williford?
Yes.
Member Ibio?
Yes.
Member Miller?
Yes.
Member Pierce?
Yes.
Member Almond?
Yes.
Member Moschetti?
Yes.
Chair Bradley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All righty. The current Measure B projects, we need to have a report on what's going on. So, are you doing that? Yeah. Yeah, I think that it's lost. You don't?
Crisis Center on Orchard Avenue?
It's not a locked
Not,
facility. No, it's not, it legally is not a locked facility, and it's not an egress door facility, like the MHRC that they're opening, the Mental Health Rehab Center. That's a semi-locked in a sense that it has egress doors, that you press on it and it'll open, where the pub is a fully locked facility.
Right.
No, the CRT is not legally supposed to be a locked facility, it's not a locked facility.
Then the person that told me about that was mistaken.
There
So
was-
I apologize.
Your mistake.
Okay, I apologize for confusing the issue. All righty. So I guess we're going on to the PUF, which we're all interested in. That would be you, Doug.
Yeah, did you want to accept the previous report?
We want, I'm sorry,
I think you might want to accept the previous report,
to,
or is that? All right.
Except which report?
The one that Dr. Miller just gave us.
No, we never have.
No.
Okay. I apologize, is this on?
That's okay, it's a good question. And you gotta keep checking me.
It came up on the last time, so I thought.
Well, that was my,
So I'm going to give you an update on the psychiatric health facility project. The, progress is continuing. We, last time I was here, we spoke about the delays with the switchgear that was due to arrive in late December. That gear did arrive. However, when PG&E came out to inspect it to hook up our transformer and utility connections, they failed the inspection due to some discrepancies between the panel that was installed and the information that we had given them when they designed their side of the utility service. So since the last day of December, basically, when we got that report, we've been working with PG&E and the engineer and the contractor and the manufacturer of the switchgear to try to resolve that issue. And I don't have a confirmation at this point yet of what that's going to entail or how much longer that will take to get resolution. So that's our current open-ended issue that is contributing to now ongoing delays that are going to push the completion out. At least at this point, I don't want to say at least.
Don't give us a date if you can.
Well,
Give us a date.
yeah, I think that the best thing that I can say at this point is that we already have the delayed generator, which we previously reported and still understand to be delivering in June for startup and operation toward the end of June or early July. So at this point, it seems reasonable to assume that the rest of this work will be able to be completed prior to that date. But at this point, it's unlikely that we'll have any opportunity for the operator to start moving in prior to that date toward the end of June or sometime in July.
So where did the error happen? It was just communications between point A and point B, or?
Yes, I mean, part of the problem is there are 5 different parties involved. But yes, it's certainly a communication error, and I have to take, ultimate responsibility for that. We've had part of what we tried to do at the beginning, due to the lead times for the PG&E equipment and the time it takes for them to actually get all the engineering done and get the equipment ordered and make sure it's there on time. We wanted to be proactive and get them information as soon as possible. And as it turned out, that information was more preliminary than we understood it to be. And the engineer subsequently made changes that we didn't recognize and get back to PG&E so that they could update all their information. So that's, ultimately what happened in a nutshell. Yeah, there's a lot of parties that had a hand in what could have happened. Many of us could have identified this problem and tried to figure out how to solve it earlier, and unfortunately that didn't happen. So I can certainly take responsibility for that as the manager of this project, but it's hard to pinpoint how or where, any single issue that could have prevented that from happening.
So we have a switchgear, but I'm going to try and put this basically plain. We have a switchgear, it's not communicating with what's coming, the feed from coming off the street, and there's some miscommunications
So
in the equipment. And is it something that we have to wait for another switchgear is what the end result is, for my question? I'm sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot, I know it's uncomfortable, but.
Well, it's not that it's uncomfortable. There's several options for possible solutions that we're exploring at this time. None of them would require all new switchgear. We are fairly certain we can avoid fully upgrading the PG&E service to, what they think they have to do without some other changes. So we're looking at two possible changes, to either changing the main switch in the switchgear or possibly going in and rebuilding some of the guts of the switchgear to reduce the capacity. So in a nutshell, the main service was designed to be a 600 amp service, and that's what PG&E designed their transformer and feeding for. For some reason, the panel box that the switchgear, that the switch is in, is designed to be a maximum of 1200 amps, which is twice the size it needed to be. And the labels on the panel show the 1200 amps. And so PG&E doesn't want to hook something up that is labeled to be and looks like it's something that isn't.
So Doug, thank you. And I know you understand how important this is for us because you want to get this project behind you as much as we do. I know that. What about, take away the switch, what about everything else? The parking lot, the drainage, the interior, the functionality of the building, what about everything else? Because you and I worked on county projects before, and once we get over one hurdle and say, thank goodness that's over, we go, oh, but there's another problem.
That's a good question. We have several other percolating issues. I firmly believe that the switchgear will be the determining factor in the timing of completion. The other issues, while they've delayed certain parts of the project, they aren't, they aren't going to keep going past the time that we resolve the switchgear and all the other delays associated with that. So,
Wait, I didn't understand the last part. They're not going to keep what?
So all of the other issues are either resolved or very close to being resolved and are going to be cleared up and dealt with before whatever impacts we have from the switchgear, kick in. So anything else that's going on is going to be resolved in the same time that the issue of the switchgear is getting resolved. So the answer to the question is yes, there are other issues. Those are going to have cost impacts. We have other costs that I will get to in just a minute, but in terms of the schedule, this completion in June or July is still based on the switchgear and there'll be plenty of time to resolve all the other issues that we have in that time.
Thank you.
So they're fairly minor. They're not minor, but
They're already resolved as far as we know, and there's no more open questions that, I don't want to say no more, but, the work is very nearly done, so there's not many opportunities for something else to come up. So I'm going to just give you a list of the other major things, the major cost impacts that we've encountered on this project. We've had the generator, we've had to upgrade because the original design didn't include the propane plus gas fueling so that it can operate on natural gas from the PG&E. And if for some reason that fails, we also have propane and propane storage that will run the building even if we lose gas and power at the same time. So it's a triple backup. That was not indicated on the drawings. So we had to upgrade that. The kitchen hood was designed without enough room for everything to fit. It needs to go above the hood, so we've gone through quite a lot of revisions to make sure that that all works properly. We approved and had delivered automatic transfer switches for all the temporary power for the generator. They don't fit in the building where they were designed to go, so we had to redesign a place for them outside. And then the switchgear have had some impact, and as yet we don't know what cost impact those will have. And with the time delay, I'm going to be spending more time, obviously, until we complete the project, and our construction manager at BDCom will be on the project for some continuing duration. So for an overall budget impact, I just want to do a recap from the beginning when we approved the project back in 2022 in January, when we did the feasibility presentation. We had a budget at that time of $22 million. We got through the design process and did a pre-bid estimate that was reduced our budget down to $21 million. When we got bids, we had very advantageous bids that reduced my estimate down to about $19 million. I advised the Behavioral Health Department that we probably should continue to budget at $20 million instead of reducing it all the way down to 29 or 19. And at this point, even with all the changes, I'm still quite optimistic that we will be under the $20 million budget as we go
Well,
on.
congratulations, Doug, that's a big deal.
Thank you for that.
That's a big deal.
It will amount to, I mean, my projections are that the change orders to the contractor will amount to somewhere between $1 million and $1.5 million, depending on the cost of delay. So one of the other major impacts we'll be dealing with is our obligation to the contractor to be here beyond the contract time, because many of the issues, the switchgear and the PG&E and some of the other issues I spoke about are not the contractor's responsibility. So we're going to be obligated to the contractor for the time they're spending beyond their contract time here. Some of that is negotiable. They in our understanding, they would not have finished on time even had we not had these issues, but that becomes a negotiation with the contractor. So.
You know, are you going to negotiate with them?
Yeah, we're already in negotiation on the time, but without having an end date, it's hard to get
Right.
an actual number.
So with us paying Norton Lewis $2.7 million for the architecture and engineer, then we have $1.5 million of change orders. If Norton Lewis, are they all responsible for the failures that happened?
Norton Lewis is responsible for some of the failures on the project. The $2.7 million contract we have with them, I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it includes close to, I don't know, $500 or $600, maybe $700,000 for a third facility. Remember what that was?
Crisis stabilization.
Crisis stabilization unit. So there's
Okay.
there's a third scope in that. So I think I don't have the breakdown in front of me, but as I recall, the design cost for the PUF project is like $1.7 million is what we have in here. I did have a brief negotiation with Norton Lewis for additional fees for them to go beyond the completion date and other. That didn't go anywhere, so they're not getting any more money from us.
Thank you.
And that's about as far as we can go without taking them to court, basically, to hold them accountable for where we're at, is just to, you finish this job and get us out the other end without any more money.
So to Dr. Miller, I have a quick question, and I don't have my reading glasses on, so I'm asking the question. What was the contingency amount that we put in for the structure, for the cost of the PUF? Did we put in a contingency?
Yeah, that's in the 20 million.
So the contingency is built into that 20 million?
Yes.
Correct. And basically, we're using all of it. So,
Maybe not happen, okay. Thank you.
so I don't have anything more to report directly, but I can certainly answer other questions.
The end of June, first part of July.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a confirmed ship date for the generator yet, which is still likely to be the final work of the project. So until we get that, shipped from the factory date, we won't be able to confirm that date.
Okay, thank you.
And I just want to add as a reminder that the 20 million, remember 9.3 of that is the state covering that cost. So we would have had 2 million out of Measure B, but we were able to apply for that grant, so now the state is covering 9.3 million of that 20 million.
Before Doug leaves, and I understand if you have to leave, but I'm going to ask later in the meeting if our next Measure B meeting, since the PUF will not be open, for if we can have our meeting at the PUF.
Oh,
This would be February, March, April.
it would be May.
Yeah. Yes, I think even if we're not 100%, there's going to be, I mean, I can make an arrangement with the contractor
Okay.
to make sure that we can have access. There was
We
a,
know the public on too, though.
Pardon?
The public has to be available to come on the site if we're there. We're
Yeah,
opening it up to more than just us.
and I think it's a great idea, but I really wouldn't want to.
That's a question.
I know, I just wouldn't want to slow them up any more than they're already running into.
That is not on my agenda, loading them up. I think we paid a lot of
I
money for
said
this.
slowing them up.
Oh, slowing them.
No, I'm not talking about loading them up.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Tom, but slowing them up because
But
we
okay,
keep
just think
running
about it.
into
Yeah,
problems.
that's right. We got to see where we're at. I think we're scheduled to be here, but if it's something we can pull off, then maybe we'll do it.
Yeah, I think in any case, we should be able to schedule a visit, even if it's not
Right.
where we hold the meeting, if that was something that we want to do as a.
Yeah, we just have to schedule you guys not with the majority, so we've done this before. We just schedule half of you one time and half of the other, so we don't create a majority issue.
Sorry, what was that about having to let the public in if we're in there?
Well, this is a public meeting,
Correct.
Yes.
and with the Brown Act,
Oh, I see, got it.
So we have to notify and do all that.
If we're holding a meeting, we do a tour with just you guys, and we aren't at a majority, we can just tour you guys through. So we can schedule that easier.
We all want to go and see it. That's for sure. All right. So any more questions for Doug?
you probably were not looking forward to this meeting, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have every reason to keep you guys up to date on what's going on, and I don't want to hold anything back, so we have the same goals.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you, thank you.
Appreciate your hard work.
Okay. All right. It says here that we have an update on the Measure B budget.
Yes. So every year, we have to put in, it's budget season for the county. And so we have to put the official budget in, and it always goes in around this time. And one of the recommendations from Measure B, I think 2 years ago when Shannon was on this board, was to ask that we please let you guys see the budget before it's finalized. And so we have always agreed to bring it to this meeting so that you guys can look at it, see it, because we will be entering it within a week. But we wanted to make sure you guys get to see it before we make it final, put it into the county system. And so Andy is able to talk you through anything, any questions you have regarding the proposed budget.
I have a question. Yeah, we don't have anything for the PUF because it's not operating yet. Yes?
Except for charges from the PUF, like the.
Yeah, construction costs?
So we
Yeah.
did budget 300,000 for construction costs that might go over what Doug said. It might not be, it's like right on that cusp. So he did budget 300,000 for any extra things that might hit next fiscal year.
Okay, so this budget is from July to the following June, right?
Yes.
With the PUF is,
So remember, Sherry, one of the reasons we chose ResPAC was because their operating model is that they operate on a business perspective with no obligation to the county to make them whole.
to make them
Whole.
What's that mean?
So, meaning there should not be operational costs that we are going to have to pay out. They are going to operate their pub and make every dollar themselves.
So that 1.8 we've always talked about?
The 1.8, right, that was the one that, there's two things about ResPad that made them, well, more than two things, but ResPad we've been using for years, right? We've had people in their, both their two facilities in Reading and Red Bluff, so we've partnered with them for many years. That was, an ideal thing, we know how they operate. But with their RFP that was beneficial, there was two things. One, they were willing to do Medicare. They haven't done it, but they're willing to have us train them and do it. We built this facility to be able to meet Medicare standards. And so that we could do it as a super pub. So they were very interested in learning to do Medicare, have us assist them in learning how to go Medicare, get them connected and possibly private insurance. So, which will be something they haven't done. The other provider that put in an RFP was not willing to do Medicare. The other thing was that they are not asking for the county to make them whole, and they are not saying that there will be a cost to the county to operate this facility. The other proposals did have cost. When we originally talked to Telecare, there was an obligation that the county would have a share of cost. ResPad is not expecting the county to have a share of cost. They operate their other two facilities without a county share of cost for Shasta County. And so that is the model they are bringing to Mendocino County. So that 1.8, I want to say we will not need to utilize any of it, but I want to be cautious. I want to be cautious, but that is their model. That is their proposed model.
Okay, so I have a question related to that, and I think it's for you, Sarah. Because up till now, because we didn't have a county puff, we paid to send clients to Reading and two different facilities up north, I believe.
We send clients to about 15 different
Oh,
facilities
okay.
across the state.
And it costs somewhere around $2 million. So will that just be a savings to the county budget?
No. The county we will stop to pay to put people on ResPad. So that $2 million will go to ResPad locally to pay for, it's based on per client per day. Is when you look at that $2 million that we pay, it's a combo of Medi-Cal reimbursement and a per person per day rate that we pay. That means that will shift from paying those other 15 facilities, which some we still may have to pay, like ResPad isn't going to take our youth. So our youth are still going to go to a youth facility, and so we'll still have that cost. It means our cost shifts. So every client that ResPad takes in Mendocino County, we will pay them for that cost. We still have a share of cost, regardless. So that $2 million, give or take, would then be paid for every client we pay into ResPad here.
Okay, so I'm still trying to just understand the share of cost that we still have to pay. Is that coming from that $2 million in the county or from Measure B?
It's coming from the county, it's coming from mental health. So the way it works when we place someone in a facility
Yeah.
that has Medi-Cal is think of it as like a 50-50 match. So 50% is paid by Medi-Cal, 50% is paid by mental health realignment dollars. So when we place someone at a facility, any facility, we have to pay realignment dollars for Medi-Cal to pay their share. So Medi-Cal pays 50%, and the county pays 50%. Those dollars come out of the county mental health budget. We don't get county funds. We don't get county general funds and behavioral health. We get $28,000, that's it, $28,856. And that's so that we can pull down the federal share with it. So that's a mandate. Other than that, every dollar that goes into your county behavioral health is coming from realignment dollars, state general fund, or federal dollars through billing Medi-Cal. So how we pay for all mental health services is through that match system. And it's kind of like how we have private insurance, you have like you have a share of cost, or you have, whatever you have a percentage for every visit. With Medi-Cal, we have a share of cost. The county has a share of cost for every Medi-Cal service that we bill. So that $2 million will just switch, and we'll be paying that. So it's not like they get $2 million. They don't get $2 million. They get paid for every client they take per person per day.
So on this financial report that we looked at earlier this afternoon, where it had the PUF, in the last column, ongoing annual cost estimates, it still says 1.8 million there.
Right.
But I thought you were saying we wouldn't
We
have,
do not think that we are not, in their business proposal, that is not what they're proposing. So we can remove that, but we also have to be careful because
right.
if they run a deficit, we could have to backfill them or lose them.
That's a phenomenal amount, all of it.
It is. And it's why one of the reasons they're very beneficial provider to work with. They're really
Yeah.
training up, they're running it like a business model to really cover their costs.
So that was I have one other question. Janelle Rao, she retired, right?
We can use that word, sure.
Okay, well, I don't know. Let's not go there. She did projections for capital assets. And so that when we needed to replace things down the road, we'd have the money to do so. I think it would be good to have a separate fund, a capital asset fund within Measure B as part of our budget, that money would get put into as a budgetary item each year. We'd have, when I looked at her numbers, they came out to about $150,000 a year.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah,
You've been asking questions when we were supposed to be getting a report.
okay, well, hold on on that other
And you
one.
may,
Yeah, we're on this budget right here.
Yeah, I know. Well, this question is about
but
this.
she hasn't even told us
Yes.
anything.
Well, it's not on here, but I jumped the gun, so I'm sorry, I'll ask it later. Okay,
So I have a question.
You might find some of your answers
yeah,
will
maybe.
happen.
No, I don't think that answer's gonna be here. The answer for that is that.
I'm sorry.
That's what the prudent reserve was created for.
Right,
So the
thank
purpose
you.
of the prudent reserve is
Thank
that
you.
capital facilities asset funds. So I think you would have to put, if you wanted to create that differently, you would have your prudent reserve and that, which I think we as a committee, back when we did the original prudent reserve, included that into the prudent reserve. Well, I know because me and Donna were on the committee who made the recommendation for the prudent reserve.
Yes.
We were
You
that.
got shot down, by the way.
Yes, we wanted more.
It included the capital
Yes, it
assets?
did, yes, it did.
But that doesn't mean we couldn't down the road still separate it out. We
True.
could revisit it. and
True, but that would
possibly-
have to be a whole nother
Yes,
conversation and
yes.
another agenda item.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. All right.
So sorry, I have another question. So for the edification of people who haven't worked for the county, A87 was passed by the Senate many, many years ago that allows for county and city departments to charge other county and city departments for work that is done on company time. Does that make sense? Okay. So, and we have in our budget $50,000 for aid, so I understand that. But then it says for administration, fiscal, $80,000. Is that for the auditor's office? Because,
No, that's for our office, so that's all of us that work on Measure B. It's a combo of all of us, the administration time to do the meetings, send out everything, the fiscal side of the house. I never bill any of my time to Measure B. It's kind of in kind, because, but the staff who work to support this committee or any of the Measure B projects bill their time to Measure B.
and I think we're going to deal with that because since your staff got involved with running meetings and auditory and everything else, it's much better, and I appreciate that. I just want the minutes to show that as we go down the road and get to where things are running and Measure B is hopefully not needing as much as we have and so forth, there's not going to be a need for that kind of money to go to behavioral health.
Right, and we only bill for, even if Andy puts in 80,000, it's, the staff time study. So they have time limits on their time sheets, they study to the
Okay.
department. So if they spend an hour, they put an hour in. So it could be 80,000, but even though she budgeted 80,000, it could be only 40,000. It will be based on how much time staff have to spend to support everything.
And the 850,000 that's in this budget is for the Fort Bragg CART team or whatever they are, crew team. It's for the crisis response team here in Ukiah.
No, it's for crisis respite on the coast.
Okay.
that they advocated for. So the crisis
Right.
service center on the coast, the crew team, and the aftercare services. So the crisis
Where, on the coast or
aftercare-
here?
Crisis aftercare is the whole community, it's the whole county. It happens everywhere. For everyone who discharges or has a crisis assessment, it does
Right.
not have Medi-Cal, they get offered crisis aftercare.
That's fair, okay, good answer, thank you very much.
So, we don't have it on the agenda this time, but we have talked the last couple meetings about RFPs for substance misuse programs. Do we not foresee any of those starting up in this next year? Where are we with those?
We do, but it's really hard to determine what that budget will be, and so we can make budget adjustments at Q1.
Okay.
So we are prepared, we don't know, and we don't want to put in a $3 million thing and then we don't get anything. And so we're really looking at the RFP, I think it's going to be posted this week.
Okay.
And so we can make budget adjustments as needed.
The RFP for substance abuse and alcohol can be posted this week?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there, in that RFP, is there a maximum dollar amount?
No, we always agree, this committee agreed to no dollar amounts because we want to see what options we get.
Right,
What we
right.
agreed to was the top 5
Yeah,
things, which was youth residential, medical model detox, co-occurring, and you're only getting one, and a big thing of it not being a new kayak.
right,
So
Right.
that's what's really in that
Right.
RFP.
great. Good.
Can I take a moment, Chair? Since you're talking budget, I did review Measure B. I do not see a requirement that county council have to be here, so just in terms of budgeting. I do anticipate with some of the things coming forward that on the side, we will be working directly with Janine and her staff in terms of assisting, and that will be money that will need to be allocated. And so, again, I think the reason why we were brought in originally is this was a brand-new child. It was a tax measure. You're dealing with large amounts of money. And it was a Brown Act committee of people that had never kind of gotten together before. So I don't see that county council is required to come. So we will rely on Janine to let us know if there's a time when she believes that we should be here. And otherwise, I'm going to be partying around 2 o'clock.
And really important, as Kit noted, any contract that comes out of Measure B, county council does review, and so that they will build towards that. So when we do a contract or different things like that, there may be some county council charges for things they review on behalf of Measure B.
And we do budget, we put $5,000 in for county council charges.
I'm hoping it's less.
Apparently you can take it out.
We usually is,
You can leave it there, but if we don't, then we don't. Then.
right, right.
Well, I can take it out after the fact, too.
It's
We
just
don't
how
want to
they
take it completely out because they do have to review your
I know.
contracts and different things like that. We can make it less.
And she is a nice person.
And it's nice to have the budget authority in case we need it.
Thank you.
Doesn't mean that we have to use it.
We could, if you guys want to recommend that we put budget authority in for the RFP of $1 million, we can add that. If you prefer, then we don't.
Say that again, the budget for the alcohol and substance abuse for how
Yeah,
much?
so we could, Andy could add in $1 million. I mean, and that would just give us budget authority until Q1 goes through. We wanted to start building a project.
Yeah.
That's up to the committee. We can put authority, or, put 500,000 in. I think it's up to the committee, but we originally said no dollar amount because we want to see the projects first. So we can create budget authority now, as Andy's putting this in.
Good.
Then we don't have to wait to Q1, but that's up to the committee.
John has her hand
I agree with what we did originally, and we see what they can provide. And they give you a deal, and then we come back to it.
And then we go to the board and say, this is what we recommend.
That's my opinion, that's why we voted, that's why we did it.
And if needed, we can always do an appropriations one-off from Q1.
Budget amendments happen.
Yeah, we'll look at it.
Okay. Well, with that in mind, I'd like to make a motion.
Wait, I got another question.
Oh, go.
And the motion that you're making, is it on the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my other question is, in light of just hearing today that Measure B may not have to cover that 1.8 million, I mean, I know that's not final, it's where we are thinking right now, but it's doesn't seem like it's going to be anywhere near that at the same time. My question is about, because when I look at this budget, you know, the end balance increases almost 1.9 million just for this 26-7 year. Is it the purview of this committee to create more projects to spend the rest of the money? What is the long-term goal here? I mean, we've done a treatment, a pump, this building. What was the original idea or thinking about that?
Go for it, Donna.
Sorry, the original idea, I think we are meeting. I personally, this is my personal opinion with no talking to anyone else, we need to see how it works before we start trying to do other things. We need to see how the 3 things that we've done work before we try to sit there and say, oh, we've got $1.8 million, we've got this. That's my opinion, and that's it.
And I don't disagree with that. I'm just talking even beyond that. Let's see. It's a what-if question. What if we see how it works and there's substantial amount of...
Right, and then we deal with it then.
That's a really fair question, and I'd like to put it on the agenda for next month, because that's off the agenda for where we are now.
Fine.
It's a fair question,
Good.
and I think we all need to show up ready to answer it.
Okay.
So my motion is to
Good.
accept the budget that Dr. Miller is going to present to the board of supervisors, as discussed in item number 3 is F as in Frank.
I second.
Okay, is there any more discussion? Do you feel that we got that budget?
Yes.
Okay. Any more discussion about that? Roseanne, can we have a roll call, please?
Member Barish?
Yes.
Is it working?
He said yes. I said yes.
Member Williford?
Yes.
Member Ivy Young?
Yes.
Member Miller?
Yes.
Member Pierce?
Yes.
Member Almond?
Yes.
Member Musketti?
Yes.
Chair Bradley?
Yes.
Thank you.
So Tom, what are you asking for the next agenda?
I'll cover it as the committee member reports. I have 2 things. You don't mind, when we get to the committee report.
Okay, that's fine. All righty. Discussion of possible action regarding quarterly newsletter collaboration with BIAB and what we're doing here. This came up at BIAB, and I think we've discussed it here also, the fact that what we're doing isn't getting out to the public. We also have very noisy people in the background that they disseminate information that isn't correct. I have an article I've been dragging around by Mark Scaramella that completely is incorrect. But we talked about doing a newsletter to keep people abreast of what's going on with behavioral health, and it can include all of what's going on, but the measure B is really important because people still think that we're sitting on this pile of money and nothing's happened. And every time we try to put it out there, it's not getting out there. And there's misunderstandings because misunderstandings put out into the public. So, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Jess.
So, that question came up at Behavioral Health, that we wanted to put out a newsletter so that information can get out to the public, or at least that we try to get it out to the public. And does the Measure B committee want to be part of that?
I don't know, do you?
Do I? I think I want somehow to communicate.
Do you want to write the article? point.
That was in my head.
That was the question. Because I don't want to saddle this with behavioral health of writing a newsletter.
Well, we talked about that at behavioral health, and so that would be the next question. If you guys want to join in, you guys, this board, yes, we thank you, want to join in on this, then maybe somebody from this board would volunteer to help, and then we'll have somebody from the other board help. But
As long as it's reviewed by you and sent to her ahead of time, that's my opinion, I would be 100% supportive of it.
okay. And yeah, I would not put anything out in the public without Dr. Miller's
Right.
review.
There's no secrets here.
No, there aren't, but I want, standing in both of these boards, I want what we're doing to get out there correctly, and I know you do too.
Well, Joe, people don't listen. I mean, and you brought this up many times before.
Mhm.
And we could buy a billboard out there and say Measure B meets today.
They have to
And no
stop
one
and
would be
read
out
it.
there other than 2 members of the board of supervisors, which we appreciate. So, I appreciate what you're saying. People don't care until it's an emergency, if that makes sense.
Well, I know, and you've seen enough of that, and I'm still beating my head on the wall.
And write up and have her approve it, and it's good.
Okay, so I will use as an example, we were getting so much grief out in the internets about behavioral health and what was doing, and that was our money and this money. And I was really frustrated, and I asked Dr. Miller to do a behavioral health 101 presentation at one of the BHABs. And we invited the Board of Supervisors, the city councils, the sheriff's department, and all the police departments, and we put it out in the public as far as we could get it to go. We actually had a pretty good turnout. We had 4 out of 5 supervisors showing up, and 3 of the noisiest people out in the internet showed up also. And it's a lot we were just talking just now on where the money comes from that it pays for the people. And when you sit and you see this morass of craziness of money, robbing Peter to pay Paul, and it all goes around, and it doesn't come out of our coffers, but everybody thinks it's coming out of the county. So what Dr. Miller presented, when all was said and done, the three of the noisiest people have been silent.
Okay, there you go.
And then their big thing is homelessness. So they've turned their energy into homelessness because they finally realized that this is not the place to be that. So that's why I'm still doing it. You do get the communication out there at some point. I don't know that we can be noisier than the ADA, but that's why I brought this to this committee.
I don't even think this needs a motion. I think that if you want to write something and she says, yes, it's approved, we already approved this 2 meetings ago when you brought it up, that we wanted information to get out.
Okay, so this is what we came up with, was to do a newsletter.
And I agree, as long as I don't.
I got my hand up.
We know that.
Talking.
Go ahead.
When you say put it out, what does that mean? Out where?
We would be doing it, we'd have to get it to the newspapers, posting it. We have I don't do Instagram, so I don't even know if we have an Instagram account, but we do have a Facebook account. And to get it out to the public in any manner that we can, to toot our own horn.
So you mentioned 2, the newspaper and Facebook, yeah?
Yeah,
As
and
a start, yeah.
it's a start, but
Yeah.
we need to blow, to toot our own horn. And then when it gets to the point that we are going to have an open house at the pub, hopefully people will show up. Dr. Baker?
Is the newspaper willing to do that?
I don't know. That's where I'm going next. I've tried doing stuff through the coast, and he says, oh yeah, and they put it on their calendar, but they never put it on the air. And so that's getting nowhere as far as I'm concerned.
And what about like KZYX?
KZYX, I ran into the same problem. I went
They
to,
just don't do it.
they don't do it, and KZYX is always intermodal. You know, they're good, but, yeah. So as long as I do it, or if there's somebody that wants to help, other than Donna.
Other than Donna, because Donna says right now.
Okay, so you guys are not against that?
No.
All right, so that was number one. The other thing that we were wondering, the behavioral health, my big behavioral health hat, is whether a joint meeting would be a good meeting to have a behavioral health and Measure B meeting together, so that everybody understands what pages we're all on, and that if there's communications needed, we could do that. And the next time, well, if we're doing something at the pub, we could do something. We're going to be meeting on the coast in August.
I just have a small question. It also says Public Health Advisory Board on the.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Not for the joint meeting.
Yeah, it says, this is, oh, that's the newsletter. I'm sorry. My apologies.
So I have a question, Joe.
My apologies.
You're our representative to the Behavioral Health Advisory,
To this committee.
to this committee, and the whole purpose of having the 11 people that we have on this committee was for, like with Donna, she's on Nanny, she takes information from here and she goes to the 9 meetings and says this is what Measure B's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And the purpose of having a representative from the Behavioral Health Advisory Board is the exact same thing. So, you're my friend, but I don't want to have a meeting for the sake of having a meeting.
No, I get that.
And if there's something that can be accomplished by it, other than, bless you, of networking, I mean, if they want to come to our meeting, our next meeting, I think it's wonderful. Make sure they're invited, because when they show up, there's always more food here. I'm serious. They bring bagels and everything.
We don't do food anymore.
You don't get food anymore?
No, I get off.
Hell, I'll buy food, but I mean, I don't.
Put that,
I'm
are you
saying-
saying you want to have a party?
Listen,
Do that after?
no, I'm saying I'm such an anti-meeting person that unless there's something that we need to accomplish by having everybody get together, then I would be absolutely against this.
What, question, would what we want to accomplish be about informing ourselves or behavioral health, what each other does?
That's where the discussion came from.
Like, yeah, I have no idea what your board does. So I think it's a great idea.
So Sherry, when this committee was first formed, Measure B, I'm not kidding you, we didn't have any empty seats here because one meeting we had 6 people standing up there telling us which program we need to pay for. And we are not that committee to say that's a good idea or that's a bad idea. That's a behavioral health advisory. And so, if we can accomplish it, I just don't want this to turn into, well, I'm going to go to Measure B because I think that we should do this program. Measure B isn't,
Right, I hear you.
we're not going to be doing that.
Right.
No, that's not what Measure B is about.
I didn't hear you.
I said, that's not what Measure B is about.
But that's, when it first started, that was the public perception.
Right.
And we're on track now of brick and mortar and getting, improved services for the crisis and getting our responder crew, cart, team. We're on track right now, and I welcome them to come to our meetings. I don't want to waste your time on my, and that's very selfish of me to say, but that's what I mean.
You've always been straight with me, I
Okay.
get it. Does anybody else have anything to say about this other than Tom?
I honestly don't see an advantage to it, but I do and I don't. And your meeting is right before ours, right?
Usually what we do is we meet before you, so that if there's something that needs to come here that,
Then you can.
Yep.
So would it be adverse for them to stay another 3 hours? Then,
well, we don't even meet for 3 hours usually.
well, but yeah, but you're done at
No,
noon.
15 minutes.
You're done,
Just take-
No, she's right. We have,
They're done at noon.
yeah, our meeting starts at 1.
Let's have lunch.
You're buying, it's in the minutes.
Okay, I don't care. Let's have lunch here. They finish their meeting, we have lunch, and we get to have our meeting. And no one's wasted our time.
I'm looking over at Dr. Melvin. What do you think?
We create a majority issue, a Brown Act issue. I
Uh,
think we have to be careful.
Say it again.
We would have a majority of your board and behavioral health board, and so we would have to be careful we didn't create.
Right, the Brown Act allows for social events.
Yeah, if we don't talk
So
about
that should be the social event.
Yeah, that's it. But I understand what you're saying.
As long as we didn't talk business. I
At
think
lunch.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be business though, to talk about what
You
what
can't,
Measure B has done up till now.
well, we're not gonna do that at lunch.
No,
If we're doing it during an open meeting, it's fine. If it's not an open meeting, if it's lunchtime and we start talking business, or 3 of us stand around and start talking business, we just blew the Brown Act.
well, to me, educating the other group, each other's group is not business. It's educating. It's not like we're gonna take action on anything.
No, the point is, it's still Brown Acted meeting, and it's still, we have to have it open, and we have to not put ourselves in a position of having a question. You're gonna see me go crazy with the Brown Act, because that's one thing that.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just too easy to screw that up.
So I'm just gonna throw out line, I don't see the benefit of having a joint meeting. I think if I want to know about the Behavioral Health Advisory Board, I'm going to attend that meeting as a member of the general public, and I would think that they could do the same for ours. That's just my opinion, that there's not a benefit.
I will be happy to attend the next Behavioral Health Advisory Board member and join you in telling them what we've done.
We'll put you on the agenda.
And then afterwards, they have somebody tell us what they did.
That could happen.
We can do that.
All right.
Will that take care of it, and we won't be having any, and we, so you got out of providing lunch, you know that.
I'll still buy lunch. I'm not saying I'm.
Knows how to do that.
So that eliminates any Brown Act.
Yeah, we're not gonna do anything to jeopardize Brown Act.
Good.
There's just
That's
no
a
way.
good solution.
So is your next behavioral health, does your behavioral health board meet on May 27th?
Yes. we
Yes.
will.
Here?
We'll meet right before, well, here at the pub, remember we talked about meeting at the pub, but we, if this meeting's gonna be held at the pub, we might be here and then Measure B, but yes, we'll either be here or Door Street, depending on what happens
Okay.
with Measure B.
I'll be here.
But we can schedule it for that, the May one.
Okay. All right, so we don't need to make any motion or we beat that horse.
That a girl.
Okay, all righty. We just did that, and committee chair report, that's me. And I have nothing to report other than,
You're thrilled to be chair.
oh, absolutely. You should have seen me tell my husband. But anyway, I just really feel privileged, and I'm thrilled with what's been accomplished by this community over the years. So we just keep it going. And I'm very approachable, so if somebody needs my contact information, I'm glad to give it to you. And I don't run committees and boards by being the only person talking and telling people what to do. It's usually a joint effort, and it's important to me that everybody gets heard. But I do interrupt.
That's your job.
That's my job. Anyway, thank you. So, committee member reports of general interest. Does anybody have anything, that they want to talk about?
I have several things, but I mean, I'll somebody else. I'm ready.
Christina, do you want to call out the members?
Member Burge,
Nothing to report.
Member Wilfer, Member Ibani,
Nothing. Yeah,
sorry,
that's all right.
Member Miller.
So just two things. We are bringing a Fentanyl High movie showing into the High area and Fort Bragg area. I don't know if anyone's seen the movie Fentanyl High. It was created by a youth. It's a documentary on the impacts of fentanyl and the life that it really lives in. It actually has families that talk about how it's impacted their lives and how they've lost a loved one or different things that have happened. So we've been working with the Mendocino County Office of Education to bring two showings. The county purchased the Fentanyl High video, so we have it and we will be showing it at the Ukiah cinemas on March 25th. We're thinking it's going to start at about 5:30 to 8. We're probably going to advertise getting there between 5 and 8. The plan is to have a panel of speakers to also speak after or before the showing of the movie to talk about fentanyl opioids within our community. That's on March 25th. We'll be doing the same thing in Fort Bragg, and that will be April 2nd. So April 2nd, same time at the Fort Bragg cinemas over there. We are looking at MCOE, and we're looking at whether there could be food provided, since we know it's kind of dinner time, and what options that they'll have to do that. So I just wanted to make sure people know that we are really trying to work to get parents and individuals in our community out to those viewings to learn more about fentanyl. Yes.
Is it at the Ukiah Regional Center?
Yeah, Ukiah Regional.
And is there an entry fee?
There is not an entry fee, it's completely free for.
And are they going to be shown in all 4 theaters, or?
I have to ask how many theaters they'll be showing it in. The theater was rented to be able to show this video.
Okay.
I think at least one cinema or two.
Perfect, thank you.
And that's the same in Fort Bragg.
Yes, same in Fort Bragg. It will be at the cinemas there, and that we did reserve the theater. And this is coming sort of out of the opioid task force, using some of the opioid settlement funds and NCOE.
Thank you.
I think that's great.
5:30.
Yeah, I would say 5. We'll get flyers out. We can get them to you. They're saying 5 to 8, but I think they want to start the showing by 5:30. The movie is about an hour and a half long. It's very emotional. It can be emotional for some people because it is a sensitive topic, and people are talking about losing people or their impacts from fentanyl. But it is a really good. If you haven't seen it, it's a really educational piece. But yeah, so I plan to get there a little early. If you want to pick your seats. But yeah.
So that was it for, you said 2 things, so that's,
The 2 viewings.
okay.
No, your other.
Oh, I do have something. I did have another thing. So we have been working to really minimize paperwork so that we are not killing a million trees. So we're really trying to get less paper to a variety of our committees. And so our team has 3 boards that we support: the Behavioral Health Advisory Board, the Measure B, you guys, and the Public Health Advisory Board. And it is a lot of paperwork, and we get asked a lot of where are the bylaws, where are different documents that we need. So we have created a SharePoint site. We've done this with our providers. We have a SharePoint site with our providers so they can come in and see kind of different things on their contracts, data in addition to processing invoices and up. And so we created one for Measure B, not you're gonna see invoices, but really to be able to have a spot, we'll work with everyone on what's the process to get access, and there is a process to be able to access because you're going into the county system. We have done it before, but you'll see there's a Mental Health Treatment Act, Measure B. We have created this, and what you will be able to do is go in and we'll add things as we go, but it has a document library for you where you can go in and see things that have been part of Measure B across the different time. It will have the bylaws on there, the Kemper report, because I'm not sure everyone has it, but a lot of times people talk about the old Kemper report. So that is in there, the bylaws are in there, your calendar is in there, the roster's in there. It will also have meeting minutes, so that the agenda and meeting minutes will be in there, and it will allow us to archive and keep histories of stuff. We're really gonna, we're not saying we won't do paper, but we are trying to get away from that. It is something we've been working with Behavioral Health Advisory Board on, really how to get rid of paper and being able to bring like tablets to the meeting so they can pull that up and see everything on the tablet, and then we're not creating so much paper and not having to make copies that we end up all throwing away. We bring a lot of paper back, believe it or not. So I'm hoping you guys will find this beneficial and want to utilize it. We will train everyone how to access and get into it. But we are hopeful that this will allow you guys to see all of your documents and have some history for Measure B. And your minutes will be there where if you choose to bring a laptop with you, or we can also talk about what that would look like to do something different. It would allow you to access everything electronically at the meetings too.
So do you not plan on hard copies?
I think it depends on what your preference is. My hope is to get away from hard copies as much as possible. I know there are some individuals who prefer a hard copy, and so if there is someone who says, I 100% want a hard copy, then we will of course cater to that. But we are trying to get away from that. This is, this goes to your budget, right? I mean, the amount of money you're spending and the copies we make and then we throw away, which is now saving you because this doesn't cost us anything. And the trees that we're saving, correct. So, yes, if you guys are good not having hard copies for you and can bring a device, we're hoping to move to this system. And what we do have to do is work with you guys on getting the county VPN access. So the team will work with you on doing that because it is a protected system. But this will then allow you to get in and get all your stuff electronically. And it allows us to put stuff on that are reports. So like doesn't stand in the Kemper report. So if someone was to, I didn't have the Kemper report or I'm new to the committee, they're going to have the history of the stuff from like 2017 on.
How many months of minutes does it hold?
It's unlimited.
Huh? It's unlimited? Okay. I just didn't know. It should be, but.
I want a hard.
They used to.
We're just being.
You don't get a hard copy. So, I just want to say, does this sound good for you guys? Is this something you're
Sounds fine.
okay, that we work towards moving towards? Okay.
Because the Wi-Fi here is always good.
Yes, we have really good Wi-Fi.
And I was just asking.
What's the password to do?
Um,
Thank you.
Oh,
That was well planned.
nice.
So we do have Wi-Fi here, the password is there, and the Wi-Fi has always been good out here, it works well. And so this will, I think, really it'll save us some money too, and then the time staff is not going to spend making copies, that Toshiba is not too, and we're not wasting some
The
of the
agenda
paper.
and the minutes from the rest of it. I can't.
What is that?
My
Are you done?
Yes.
Who's next?
Member Pierce?
Nothing to report.
Member Alden?
A couple things. This is great news. The mental health wing of the jail, which I really appreciate the Board of Supervisors finding the money and making sure this happens. I really appreciate it. It's a 60-bed male and female mental health wing of the jail. In theory, it should be open. It will be open before the new puff.
So May.
What's that?
So May.
May, yeah. It's, right now, it's dependent upon getting the right staffing, as we all know, for that. Is that your understanding? Same time schedule?
I haven't heard a definite time schedule. Have you?
No, not a date, just.
I toured it 2 weeks ago, and it's an incredible place to put someone who's mentally ill that's broken the law. It's not going to be your regular jail cell situation. It's
Not going to be in isolation.
there still is going to be a need for isolation.
Oh, always.
Yeah, but it's much different than yeah, Donna.
Sorry, I just want to ask, just for ducks, if you're gonna have, if there's gonna be an open house or no? Like in order so the public could actually.
I believe there is, and I will make sure the sheriff invites everybody at Measure B.
Perfect.
Yes.
That would be great.
Because thankfully I haven't been in jail yet. Yet being the key word.
Whatever. I know the truth.
Not in jail
Just
yet.
kidding. So it's on schedule. That's a 32 million. Is that it? 32 million?
No, it was 44.
44 million. What?
Wow.
Yeah, but it's something this county's never had. We've never had a mental health wing in the jail, male, female.
Did anybody go and tour Santa Rita and see what they
We
had?
toured. I was in Santa Rita. I toured 8 jails.
Santa Rita is amazing.
So, yeah, that's wonderful. Sherry brought up a very good point during today's meeting of the purpose of Measure B. That's a fair statement that you brought, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I actually would like, it'll only be 5 minutes. Next agenda item, I'm going to bring the very first agenda, and I'm going to talk about Measure B. And the reason I'm saying that is because the light is on at the end of the tunnel where Measure B in the future may be meeting for the purpose of having meetings, which is never good. And
According to Tom.
you show me someone who's meeting for the purpose of meeting, and I'll show you a true bureaucrat, okay? 'Cause-
No, I'm teasing you.
Okay, because the purpose I'm saying that is, once the PHF is running, once things are operating the way that we had envisioned them back in 2016, 17, and 18, you're gonna hear from me that we may need to cut our meetings. We meet quarterly, and that was a real, we used to meet monthly, and we then went quarterly, and really and truly, if we're just doing oversight of the tax money coming in, there may be a time when we meet twice a year. I just want you to think about it. I'm not going to put on the agenda next time, but I want you to think about it because really and truly what we wanted to accomplish is almost to the point of accomplishment.
But there's millions and millions left though.
I agree with that, and that's why it couldn't be spent unless the committee meets.
And who's to say that that money isn't used for upkeep of the buildings and?
Wait. That's for the discussion. If you want to put it on the agenda, let's put it on the
We're putting
agenda.
it on the agenda.
But there will be a time that Measure B, eventually, in 5 years from now, let me tell you, Measure B will meet once a year. We have to meet because the voter passed an issue, so we have to meet. But it doesn't say we have to meet monthly,
You
quarterly.
can provide lunch every time.
I don't care, of course I will.
Put that in the minutes.
Okay,
All right.
so that was it, 3 things, a jail, a review of Measure B, and get prepared for a good argument of why we need to reduce the number of meetings for next year, for calendar year 2027. That's it for me, thank you.
Member Miskitty?
0.
Chair Bradley?
I already did. All right. So, anything else? Is there anything else that needs to be discussed? Then do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Don't think you need that.
Just declare it
You just
closed.
need one, and then you don't need a second. That's what I was
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I knew that.
2:28.